Board Game Social, hosted by Dean Leggett. Board Game Social, hosted by Dean Leggett.
Greetings everyone, this is Dean with Board Game Social, and I'm here today to talk to you about a little game called Celestia. Celestia is a push your luck game that I discovered, or that I played for the first time this year, and it is one of those games that is beautiful to look at, simple to play, good family game, good light strategy game, and one that has been well received by everyone that I've played it with. Now there may be some people that don't like the game. I just haven't run across them so far. So Quick Simple Fun Games is the publisher of Celestia, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. You might be pleasantly surprised. So how do you play Celestia? Celestia is played over a series of rounds, or journeys as they call them, and again, it's a push your luck mechanic. So whoever is the captain, he or she is going to roll the dice and see if they can overcome those challenges. How they overcome those challenges is based on the cards that they have in their hand. So real quick play. So let's say the green pawn is the captain, and let's say that's me. I'm going to look at the city. Okay, so we start here in 1. So I am going to roll the dice based on the next city up. So here I have to roll 2 dice. I roll the 2 dice. I get a blank, which means I don't have to do anything. And I have a lightning bolt, which means I need to play 1 card out of my hand that is a lightning bolt. But before I do that, the other people in the ship need to decide whether or not they think I can meet that challenge. So early on in the game, with your starting hand at 8 cards or 6 cards, depending on the number of players, that may be a pretty simple challenge. So most people are going to be like, yeah, let's go for it. So they're all going to decide to stay in the boat, in the ship. And I'm going to look at my hand and I'm going to say, yes, I can meet that challenge. I play the card into the discard pile. The ship then advances to that city, and the captain's ship or the captain's position passes to the player to my left. And we do the same thing. So this person needs to roll 2 dice because that's what's on the next city. So they roll 2 dice. Now, they need to have a bird card or a red symbol card and a cloud symbol. So again, before they announce whether or not they can meet those challenges, people have to decide. So it goes, this person per player says, yeah, I think they can do it. And I say, you know what? No, I don't think they have it. So I can opt out of the ship. I jump out of the ship. I grab a treasure card from this city, and then I place my pawn back on my little cubicle or chip, whatever. Each of the cards taken out of the treasure piles has a different point value, and the person with the highest points at the end of the game is going to be the winner, or the first person to get, I think it's 50 points, basically triggers the end of the game scoring. Now that I've bailed out of the ship, the captain then looks at their cards and they determine whether or not they can meet the challenge. And looking at this person's cards, they cannot meet the challenge. So because they can't meet the challenge, he doesn't, or she doesn't have to play any cards out of the hand, but the ship is going to basically crash and start back at that at the starting position. When a journey restarts, or when it goes back to the first city, then everyone is going to add a card into their hand. They're all going to draw 1. The captain's position then again passes to the person to their left, but only if that person is also still in the ship. So in this case, to be the purple person, they stayed in the ship with them, so they'd now be the captain, and then I jump back in the ship. If that person to their immediate left had bailed out earlier in the journey, then it would pass the captain's position to the next person past them. So I guess that's the punishment for bailing out of the ship, but I don't think it's a huge punishment per se. Each city has different point cards in its treasure pile. Obviously, the farther along you go on the journey, the better the points are. There are a couple special cards in there that are treasure cards, which have some special abilities. But for the most part, they're just points. Now, there are also 5 special ability cards that you can draw out of this deck, which allow you to do certain things other than just meeting the criteria for the dice. Some of them are wild cards, which basically allows you to complete 1 die no matter what it is. You have one which lets you kind of a take that mechanic, which lets you kick somebody out of the ship. You have a jetpack, which allows you to play it if the ship is going to crash. You land safely in that city and can draw the treasure card. There's one which forces the captain to re-roll the dice. Again, and you can play that even after he announces or she announces, yes, I can meet this challenge. You can play that card if you bailed out of the ship to kind of screw with them. Another will take that. And then you have ones which is a bonus, which allows them to re-roll because you don't think that they can meet the challenges. So there are some special ability cards. There are not a lot of them, I think. Okay, so what are some of the little nuances of the game? Some of the things that I really enjoy about this game are it's the ability for you to talk and kind of mislead other people on the ship. Now, why would you do that? Well, let's say I'm the captain and I'm far behind in points, or at least I think I am. I can basically say, oh yeah, I think I definitely can beat this one, beat these challenges. You definitely want to stay on board, knowing that I can't, but I don't want the other person to bail out of the ship and get points. I'd rather it'd be more beneficial for me to just crash it so that they don't get any points, the same as I'm not going to get any points. Because the captain can't bail out of the ship. They don't have an option to do that. So, that's kind of one of the things that you can do in it. There's also the ability to if you like you push your luck style games, this definitely is one of those. If you're in a gambling mood, I think you can do it. There's a lot of trash talking going on about how bad someone is as a pilot, and you can never trust them, and they never have the right cards. It's just a fun little game that is it's a nice way to either start your game night or a great way to end your game night. I played this late at night at a con, and it's not a lot of thinking going on. It's just a fun little game that you can wrap up your evening with. The artwork is beautiful. It is just so beautifully illustrated. It's got a cool little ship component to it. And my wife, we played this at the house, and over Thanksgiving, I was saying, what type of game should I take to our Thanksgiving get together? She's like, what about that one with the ship? I'm like, what are you talking about, a ship? I'm like, you got to be more specific. So she kept going on and on. Finally, I figured out she was talking about this game. I'm like, well, I could take it, but I actually have it out of town with me on business. And I didn't bring it back with me, so that's not an option. But so obviously she enjoyed it a little bit because it's a strategy game, but it's such a light-hearted, fun strategy game because there is strategy to it. You do have to kind of know when to push and when not to push, or when to use your special power card. Do you want to kick someone out of the ship, or whatever the case may be, or maybe you have the jetpack and so you're willing to risk it because the ship goes down. Doesn't matter, you got the jetpack, you can land safely, or when to bail out, when not to bail out. Check it out, Celestia. I know it's a reskin of another game, but get this one because it is beautiful, it's fun. Hey, it's quick, simple fun, just like it has on the box. So take a look at it, and on behalf of Board Game Social, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. See ya.